Chairman Chen. Here. Commissioner Dolick. Here. Commissioner Austin is here. Others in the audience?
Mark Roscoe, Director of Public Works.
And then Officer Blanco, Patrol Officer.
Item 2, approval of minutes, June 6, 2025, First District Board regular meeting minutes. Does someone make a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
And a second? We'll do a quick roll call. Chairman Chen. Commissioner Dolick. Aye. Commissioner Austin as well. New business, item 3, new business, we'll do the quarterly disbursements. The Finance Department, this will be approval of and not to exceed quarterly disbursements. Hilton quarterly, $12,950. Holiday Inn quarterly, $2,725. Motel 6 quarterly, $3,500. And Sherwood Inn quarterly, $138. This is contingent upon the proper paperwork submitted. Someone make a motion to approve those numbers?
So moved.
I'll second that one. And we'll do a quick roll call. Chairman Chen. Aye. Commissioner Dolick. Aye. And Commissioner Austin. Aye as well. We'll move on to item 3B, beautification update from Director Roger.
Thank you, sir. Beautification. We got a bunch of things going on around the tourism area. One is we're coming up to we'll start in reverse here. December, we're coming into the holiday season, planning. We have used B&B holiday decorations for the past 2 years for lighting up the trees down the center of Milwaukee Avenue. The contract for this year is $6,700. Last year was a couple $100 cheaper. Our plan is to move forward with that unless there's concern of anyone. They've done a great job for us. In the past, we used another company. They did a tighter wrap, but the price was 3 times the amount. So the last 2 years, we've been very pleased with B&B decorating. So that's where we're going to move forward with that. One of the things on our list for this year was the new entry sign for Welcome to the City of Prospect Heights. It was installed on Milwaukee Avenue, just south of the Kaiser Animal Hospital, right at the city entry. It was installed and as planned and as designed, but the line of sight concern pulling out of the animal hospital in the Happy Tales area was a bit more than they were comfortable with. Upon review after installation, I agreed that we could have made an adjustment to it to get a little bit farther off the roadway. I hate to do things twice, but the right thing to do was to have the sign company come out, take the sign up and readjust its angle and put it a little closer to the fence. It improved the sight line. Milwaukee Avenue is a highway across there. It's pretty fast here. Hotel's right down the street. We've all been on it. So we made that adjustment. It just happened last week. Really pleased with the new location of it. Anybody that didn't know it moved wouldn't know it. But so now that it's done, we'll proceed with landscaping around. It's been in place now for a couple months without landscaping because we knew we were going to make an adjustment. Our sign contractor finally got us hooked up and moved it over. So we're really pleased with that. We'll do probably some bushes and a little bit of cleanup for this fall just to get us through the next season. And in the spring, we'll have a little bit more activity around it. They're really pleased. The other thing that will happen is that the sign will be lit for the evenings. We're working with a couple different solar companies for the right type of light post, whether it's overhead or underground for that. We are going solar, so we don't have to have a contract and the expense of bringing in commercial power, a self-contained unit. We have a similar type solar power light on Schoenbeck and Palatine Road, which was a low budget one, but it's worked decent for the past couple of years, but we're going to upgrade that. So all 3 of our city entry signs will work nice and lit up. We got that going on. Winkleman, this year we had a contractor come in, Utility Dynamics, and put in the 5 new street lights down Winkleman. They are in, but they're not turned on yet. We're still waiting on Commonwealth Edison to make the final connections. Yep. So that is still in the process. Utility Dynamics has been paid up to a retention fee that we hold out until the project's complete. So we're in good standing with our contractor. we're good staying with ComEd, it's just a matter of their schedule making this connection. So we are expecting it soon, but I don't have a date for anybody on that. So we're excited, the polls look good, everything seemed to turn out well. Frank, do you have any issues with any of that?
I don't know.
Once they turn on, it'll be nice.
Yes.
So that's the big wave. Our beautification contractor, Landscape Concepts, has been doing a good job out there. We had a meeting with them earlier this year about a couple of changes and maybe oversights. That's been corrected. We've had no concerns or issues with them. They did a mid-season irrigation test for us, which they do every year, part of our contract. And we're pleased with the coverage we're getting on that. That is all I have with beautification. A lot of little stuff, but good stuff. Any questions from anybody? Thank you, sir.
All right, C is a building development update for Richard Peterson, which is not here today, so we don't have that. So item 3D, police report from tourism officer Blattbelcher.
Thank you. All right, so in terms of calls for service, we haven't had anything in the past couple of months that are concerning or worth monitoring, so that's a good thing. We did make a couple arrests at the Milwaukee Plaza, warrant arrest. The homeless keep coming back to the plaza. They have warrants for not going to court for being trespassed. I don't think they're real. The issue is that they keep going back to that liquor store. Liquor store refuses to trespass them because they're getting all the business from them. And that's an issue. That's a huge issue. So, liquor store, the owners are not going to work with us in terms of that unless they do something concerning at their liquor store. That nothing's going to change. But yeah, we keep shooting them off. We keep kicking them out of the Milwaukee Plaza. The Holiday Inn Express, I was a couple concerns brought up by Pradeep, the owner, the general manager. He's saying there's visibility concerns for vehicles coming out of the entrance onto Apple Drive, heading eastbound. There's a big bush belonging to River Trails, and you can't see vehicles coming eastbound until the very last second. I was going to ask you about that, Mark, maybe, just because I know it's on private property.
I just had someone ask me about that on Tuesday.
Okay, so it's not you bringing it up.
After this, we'll chat.
Sure. Yes, it's concerning because I was there. I checked our database. We haven't had any accidents, because of the bushes. I checked, but it's still concerning. Something is going to happen there if we don't make a change. I still have to talk to River Trails to see what they're willing to do. But we'll chat later.
I have a good connection that might show us.
Okay, that'd be great. And then also Pradeep from the Holiday Inn Express, he also brought up concerns about eastbound traffic on Apple Drive cutting through his parking lot in order to avoid that Apple Drive and Milwaukee Avenue red light. So they're cutting right through. That's a ILCS violation. That's a traffic violation. So we did a neighborhood watch, which pretty much means we increased police presence in that area, and we're ticketing anyone who actually does that. It's just causing unnecessary traffic in that parking lot. So for a couple of weeks, we'll see if any changes happen come by because of the increased police presence. So we're working on that. Also, Holiday Express, their cameras are working. They've helped us in a couple cases too. So it's awesome. Great camera system we have there. And also with the Hilton, I've been working with their staff. So they brought up concerns about there's certain groups that come into that book the weekends, and they're rowdy. Typically parents are the ones drinking and kids are running around. So again, I set up a neighborhood watch, which means that particular weekend we'll have officers walk by we'll walk in the hotel, speak to your staff, just make parents know that that police presence is around them. And yeah, just deter anything that could happen, just because I'm going to get rowdy with your staff. So we're working on that too. So they have my number. They're going to text me whenever they do need police presence, just because I don't have it on the weekend, unfortunately. But yeah, we're working on that. And then just a quick update too with the Players Pub and Grill. We set up the no parking signs at the driveway, that roadway that leads into the bar. No tickets in the past couple months, so it's working. We issued a couple tickets the first month. Yeah, it's been working great there. So in terms of that, that's all I have. Any questions?
say we'll jump back to the C, Dan, if you got any building development
Yeah, a
updates.
couple things. Been working with, been meeting with the owner of the Crown Plaza, trying to figure out a direction on where to go. The city's position is it's still a viable hospitality property. The owner's looking, otherwise we're trying to put together a plan on which to keep that as a hotel. Go forward. Additionally, we've been in contact with the group that owns the Holiday Inn Express, and they're also looking at what other things they can do to try and increase business or opportunities. Again, we're looking at keeping them in the hospitality business. Players Pub and Grill, Hawthorne Racing has, they're not in partnership with Churchill Downs, that's why activity at Players has been less. They did not have any of their special events this year, and they're, because of the OTB setup, not having the Churchill Down racetracks, and it's the other ones, participation is down. So that's a contribution to what's going on. Players is also looking to increase other activities to try and usership over there. Also, to the owner is working on trying to get more of the units back up online. Because when he took it over, well, most of the hotel was unoccupiable, and he's been bringing more rooms up online every couple months. So, been working with Hawthorne, or excuse me, with Sky Harbor at the airport. We did recently do a plata consolidation and re-subdivision to clean up the property lines of the old Ramada and the Aviation Plaza office building. They're working closely with the airport, MWRD, and CMT Engineering in terms of getting the site ready for hopefully planned cement line construction on the new hangars over at the Sky Harbor property. The Aviation Plaza building is submitted permits for a major interior remodel. They will be opening up the inside. The ownership is a international charter service, so they're going to be taking one of the floors and making it kind of a lounge area, waiting area for their clients. Third floor would be office space for them, and then the bottom two floors would be general leased office spaces similar to what they are. Try and get in, keep the one school, and try and get in another aviation school over there. They are going to be opening up the whole lobby. They're taking the floorways, kind of making a big open atrium, cleaning up some of the access and emergency response. You know, that's a maze to go through that building. So that's in progress now. Pretty much that's all I have for the district.
Thank you. All right, so we'll move on to item 4, old business. Any old project updates from Director Roscoe?
Sure, just a few. In the tourism district, it not just covers the hotels, but it covers the properties in that district. Things going on in there. We've been talking in the past about the Willow Trails Flood Control Project, which is additional stormwater detention in the Willow Trails Park. And it has piping that goes through the Willow, or the River Trails complex. It also goes through the plaza. So we'll see construction going on there in the next few months, from Plaza Drive, down Apple Drive, through the Plaza property, out to Milwaukee Avenue, where across from our Levy 37 pump station. It's a large project. It's been in the works for years. We'll finally have groundbreaking going on. So We don't expect a lot of traffic disruptions or anything like that, but you'll see bulldozers and equipment around where the old Denny's used to be. That's one of the main paths through the park that's most visible to our residents and commuters and stuff like that. The bulk of the work will take place in the Willow Trails Park and the rear of River Trails condominiums. So we've been working with River Trails really well on getting that project underway. So a couple of representatives from there, it would be great to talk about. Sure. Push this that you mentioned earlier in the regular. Levy 37. 3 years ago, we had an accident at the intersection of Milwaukee Avenue and River Road. It's taken us a long time to get that project moving forward for the repairs. If the accident would have broken through the wall, it would have been an emergency repair. But the fact that it just damaged the wall and it maintained its integrity in case of a flooding event, we had to go through all the proper channels, which took a long time with IDOT, IDNR, all the different players. IDOT has finally released the permit. We have a contractor already lined up to do the work. I'm not sure if that's going to start this fall or not. We hope it will start this fall, but it may be a springtime project. That would take Milwaukee Avenue down to losing a lane of travel on the northbound, which is the east side of the road, along the levee wall. For those of you familiar with the project that Mount Prospect had over the past couple of years, rebuilding their pump station, there was Jersey barricades to knock it down a lane of traffic. This is a similar idea for traffic control, but the timing of the project shouldn't probably be more than 60 days total. They're taking out 3 sections of wall, redoing the foundation, pouring 3 new sections, and restoring it. It sounds really simple, but there's a lot to it. So that's the first step in the Levy 37. Another thing that's happening in the area is, as we've talked about in the past, the levee is not certified due to there still being an incomplete portion of it, which is a sluice gate, which is located on the frontage road towards Sanders. We've gotten through final steps with IDOT, so that project I'm going to estimate is going to be done in 2026. So once that is complete, the area of the map revisions will go into FEMA, and then the insurance rates can be adjusted for the folks that are in this zone, which is a big portion of our tourism area. It'll affect the Holiday Inn property, the Apple, the old Denny's property, all the things around in there for insurance rates. So it's still in the process. The good thing is we're 2 steps closer now with these 2 segments that need to be finished before the map can be revised for insurance. So that's it. That's what I got going on. Those are the old projects.
All right. 4B, old projects updates from Finance Department. They did not have any today. Any old project updates from you, Dan?
Nope.
Any from you, Officer Malcolm? No. All right, we'll move on to item 5, public comment. Does not look like any today. Anything extra you wanted to add today?
Just want to share some updates with our property as well. Obviously, we have some exterior cameras in place now. So, on both sides of the building, east and then the front side of the building as well, we have installed some visual cameras, some on wide angles as well. Just if the law enforcement team needs to have access to that, we're more than happy to share.
Awesome.
And then also increase the internal or interior camera footage covering, especially in food and beverage establishment towards the our lawn, pond, patio side of things. We have a lot more cameras at this point. And then we are property just got approved for a LED upgrade project. So we're going to switch to complete LED going into probably end of this year into 2026. That also includes changing a few of our floodlights around the building to sort of like an uplight type, but into more LED type. But it will not have a reflection above the building, so it's just projected on the building itself. And finally, our restaurant renovation is all approved and ready to go. Finally. It has been scheduled for December, mid to end of December for the town. And other than that, I just wanted to see, I've been in touch, we're working with the Holly India for a couple months or so. I will make the suggestion to him and see if he wants to get more involved with the sport as well. Since the Crown Club is not involved anymore. So, other than that, that's pretty much all I have.
Everyone else is all good?
I just have one quick comment
Yeah.
before we adjourn. As many of you may know, this will be my final meeting here with the tourism district. Alderman Terry Anderson will be appointed to take over my position here, and she's wonderful. And
Yes.
just wanted to say that it's been a pleasure working with all of you for the past couple of years. Just wanted to mention that. Thanks.
Thank you for serving on the board.
Thank you.
Thank you for serving. All right, so our next regular meeting is scheduled for Friday, December 5th at 9 a.m. here in the City Hall chambers. It is 9:23. Does someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, and a second? All right, and then all in favor?